Hi and welcome to this week's YouTube vlog, and I hope you bobbers are okay. Thanks as always for everyone that commented last week. We had some great comments last week, even though we didn't even have a vlog out, so that was amazing. It was on some of our old videos, so as always we really appreciate it, as well as all the new subscribers. Thank you. Moving quickly on to this week's vlog, we are off for a service and we're going to do a floor mounted Thermecon system boiler. Yep, there's still a lot of them around in our area anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going through how to service it. The burner is probably have a max one burner on it, and we'll be stripping that down and going through all that as well. So that's what we're doing. I'm not going to go on. Let's get on with this week's vlog. Okay, one Thermecon boiler, here we go. So I'm going to pop the top off quietly because they're still asleep, like so, and we're going to pop the front off. So as you can see, it's a system Thermecon. So really quickly, there's your pressure relief valve there, there's your gauge there, that's a manual air vent there, obviously circulating pump and valves, expansion vessel. Not the best idea having a system Thermecon, to be honest, because they're a bit of a nightmare. There's your thermostat assembly there, and obviously you've got your thermostat files, which is one here and one on the other side, and then at the bottom we have a max burner that we've never actually done with you. Okay, so I'm going to go get some tools and let's get this punk stripped down. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do before I take it to pieces is we're going to look there. We've got nearly a bar pressure, so it's a little bit down, so I'm just going to put a bit more in. Pop, which is fine. I'll check the vessel in a minute. We're going to lift it out. Now this is a good vessel, and the reason I know it's good is because I changed it 6 months ago. Okay, so balance flue hose off. You don't have to undo it on these, as you can see there, because it just slides on, so that just slides on and off on the burner there. Okay, so that's that. So, safe isolation, kill it there. I'm not killing it on the main switch here, because last year when I done that, all them started flashing and messing around, but the main thing is we've killed the boiler, so that's fine. So we're now going to lift the thermostat assembly out of the way, like so. And as you can see, it's a bit rusty behind here. It hasn't rusted through, it's just a bit of surface rust, and I think it's actually caused by a leak there in the past by the looks of it. It sounds crusty, but that's fine. I'll check it from the other side. So we're just going to take that combustion chamber lid off now, which is 213s. So we're going to do that and I'll be back. Okay, so they're undone. Okay, here we go. Insulation board. So obviously that's in good condition. Got a little bit off there, but that's fine. And it's got a good, very flexible rope seal on there. So that's absolutely fine. And then on that side, you can see that corrosion in there, but it certainly hasn't gone through, so that's something that we need just to be aware of and check next year. On these, with the flue, because it goes right up to the top, they sweat a lot. That's a very bad repair on there, done by not us, someone else in the past up there. I'll look at that later, and it's not even straight anyway. Because they sweat their condensate, they sort of run back, and this happens. So you must make sure when you clean the whole thing, that you get all that off as well. Okay, so obviously there's 3 baffles in the middle, there's 1, 2 here, and there's 2 below as well. Okay, so we just need to give it a good clean, and we'll be back. But I have forgot to take the burner out. It's just a 13mm on here. You don't have to undo them all the way, you just undo them 2 or 3 turns, and then, like so. It's not really running too bad, it's just been a bit dirty in that nozzle there. Okay, so that's fine. I'll check the oil on in that in a minute. We're going to just put that out of the way. So the rule of thumb when you're hoovering is you start by obviously coming in here like so, give it a good clean in there, work your way down, and then once you get so far so all the baffles are out, and then you're cleaning inside, you then put your hoover there. And the idea is as you're cleaning, it sucks all the dust and all the dirt down there and out through your hoover rather than out and all over the side. So that's always a good tip there, the best way of doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to crack on with it. Okay, so a really important part, I've got all the baffles out here. If you look inside, go in there, you'll see just here, I pointed it here, Oh, let's get another light.
Oh no, we got it. We got it.
We've got it. Brilliant. Okay. So you'll see just here, here, and here. It's sort of like some airways go behind there. It's really important that you get some behind there. I usually bend a small brush and put behind there because then you can clean up. If you don't, that's where they breathe. Otherwise, when you've got the baffles in, the boiler can't breathe and then it bounces back. That's the trouble with them. So there's some there, and also there's one at the bottom down here as well. So it's really vital that they're cleaned at the same time. Anyway, let me get this all cleaned and we'll be back. Okay, so the trick of putting these back in, when you put them on, what you can't do is you can't let them just look like that and fit them, because if you do, then the top here catches on the top of the combustion chamber. So what you have to do is you have to lift them slightly, and then you'll feel the bounce from the rope behind. Then you know it's in position. If it's down like that, look, there's no bounce. If it goes up higher, it starts to bounce, so you know when you're in the correct place. So we're just going to do them up, and yeah, we'll be back. Okay, so this is now on. When you do your 13s up, you literally nip them up. Okay, so there's still a little bit of play there. If you crunch them up tight, you end up bending everything, which you don't want to do. So they're just done up basically by, you do them up until you sort of feel them in, but you'll get the gist when you're doing it, you understand what I mean. So that side's done absolutely fine. What I'm going to do now is down the bottom here, you've got your gasket, which is between your boiler and your plate there. Normally I would undo this and check it, but again, 6 months ago, because we had a little weep, we actually sorted that out. We're just going to give that a little nip like so. Okay, I'm going to whip the oil line off. We're going to take it outside and we're going to strip the burner. Okay, so here's the burner. This is a Ecoflam Max burner. Okay, so you've got your LOA 2124 control box on there like so. There's your photocell there, which we'll check in a minute. There's your fuel pump there. There's your coil. There's your motor, blast tube, air intake, capacitor and nozzle. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some tissue in the end where the nozzle is so we don't spill it. Got me trusty tray anyway. 10mm, we're going to undo it. Like so. When you put these back in, you never over tighten them either. Okay, so there we go, we're going to pull that back. Sorry if you hear a car going by, because we're actually at the front of the person's house, but we're going to bear with it. Okay, and here comes the car, who is speeding. They need to slow down, don't they, Isabel?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, 4mm Allen key, let's get it undone. 1, 2, and number 3. And we're going to remove it, we're going to turn it over. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at which direction the pump is going. So that is an R3 pump, so when we turn it over it's going to go right-handed. So I'm going to turn that, and every so often I'm going to go back a few steps. I'm going to keep going to see if I've got any tight spots, and this one seems absolutely fine. Okay, I'm then going to look at the shaft, and as you can see there's no leak on the shaft. There's no leak there on the coil stem, and the most important thing on these is it's not leaking out the adjuster, because that is the adjuster there. So we're going to pop that down like so. I'm now going to look at the coupling, and on the middle of the coupling there's a flat in the bottom, and it hasn't worn over half the amount inside there, so that's fine. I'm going to look in the back of there. You can see that there's no wear in the back of the motor, and I'm going to give it a spin, and at the moment I can't hear any noise apart from birds. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, that pump's absolutely fine. We're just going to pop that back together like so temporarily, and then we're going to move on to the other side. Okay, here's the air intake. So we're just going to undo one off here first, followed by the second one, and we're just going to turn that over and have a little look. Now the reason I'm doing that is because that is a cog there for the adjuster, and that is the plastic wheel. And sometimes bits break on these, so we have to have a look and investigate why it's doing it. But in this case, it's all absolutely fine. Well, what I'm not doing is adjusting or moving anything. All I'm going to do is very, very gently just brush that out, and I'll pick it up in the bottom part in a minute. So you need to be very, very careful with these, because as you can see, there's your numbers there. Have you got your numbers there, Isabel? Where the adjusters are. So we're just going around there gently just to clean it. And then we're literally going to put that back again so we don't damage anything. Okay, that's that part done. I'm just going to undo 1, 2, 3, 4 and get the end cheek off, and I'll be back. Okay, so the 4mm Allen keys, I've undone them 4. We're going to spin it over. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this out. This is just surface corrosion in here. It's absolutely fine. As you can see, it's just a bit of dust. And there's a seal there. Make sure that's in good condition. And in this case it is. You can squeeze it and it's absolutely fine. So we'll just turn that over. Next thing I'm going to do is spin the fan. nice and quiet. Now I've spun this, we're going to come around here like so. Excuse the vehicle going by. That's Rex, a guy called Rex. Actually, his Father Christmas around here at Christmas time.
Do you actually know him?
Christmas. There he goes. Okay, so as normal, get your screwdriver and go through the fins and make sure there's no dirt in the bottom. I'll go all the way around and do that in a second. And just make sure generally it's clean all the way around here. Once that's all done, I'm going to put this back on like so. I'm going to do it up as opposites and I'll be back. Okay, that's back on and I'm happy with that. We're now going to spin it over. Okay. We're going to check the capacitor now, so we're just going to pull that off, like so. Okay, as you can see that's leaking, so straight away that needs changing. Okay, there's not even any point in me testing that, so I'm going to get one off the van and I'll be back. So I've got a new capacitor off the van. It's a 4.5 UF or microfarad capacitor. If you want to know how to check a capacitor, then basically just here is how to do it, because we've got a YouTube short. Thank you for putting that up, Isabel.
You're welcome.
Right, let's just get 1, 2 off here. It doesn't matter which way around the wires go. We're going to spin it over like so, and I'm going to put my finger on the 13mm that's there now. There's a 13mm nut, and I'm going to undo it. Excuse the traffic. We are out the front of a house. It's a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit zone, and they're going by here at about 60. So I feel like jumping out in the road in front of them. Because it's winding us up, isn't it, Isabel?
It is a little bit.
Yes, it is, yes. Just nip that up like so. Put that back. 1. 2. Make sure they're gone properly. Make sure they don't touch each other as well, which is very, very important. And then with the new cap, the wire goes on that bit there. We spin it over. And we're back on, so that's done. Next thing we can do is check the transformer. As you can see there, we check for bubbles. There's no bubbles. We check there for bubbles. We check there for bubbles. There's no bubbles. We make sure the leads are on correctly, which they are. And we make sure it's nice and clean. Straight onto the photocell we'll do next. Just at the back here, it's a QRB1. Don't pull it by the lead, pull it by the actual photocell itself. There we go. Give that a wipe. Make sure that's nice and clean and push that back in again. Okay, now onto the nozzle. As you can see, there's a bit of PTFE around here. Now, it's not the fact that we've bodged it. There is a seal on here, but we don't trust the seal. So last year we give it a little bit extra just to make sure it's okay. But as you can see, it cuts off nice and easy, like so. And I'll put some new ones shortly. You can see the seal's there. We just don't trust it. So I'm going to undo one screw here and one screw around the other side. So as you pull this off, it's quite important on these that you push the 2 HT leads through at the same time. Okay, like so. Okay, so I'm just going to pop them off like so, and I'm going to pull them through like that. Okay, so I'm now going to clean that up, and I'm going to change the nozzle. I'm also going to clean all this up here. I'm going to clean these electrodes here, and I'm going to check the gap there, which looks absolutely fine. I'm going to do all that and I'll be back. So going back to the blast tube, this has got a number 2 stamped on it. Some of them have got number 1 stamped on them. If they've got number 1 stamped on them, just have a look here, because this part and here, there's an air gap in between it, and it wasn't the same all the way around, and it caused carboning of the blast tube and stuff like that. So if you've ever got one that's got 1 written on it, you basically need to check that all the way around there to make sure the gap in between there and the top is the same all the way around. And that is my tip of the day. Okay, so we're just putting the HT leads back on now. As you push this back on, you need to put on these HT leads without pulling them off, like so, and then put it on like so. If you don't, the HT leads cover the photocell, and then it keeps spitting ignition and it blows the transformer up within a week of the service. So there's another top tip. When you put a blast tube on, max burner, make sure you're pulling them leads back and it won't cover that cell. And then you'll save this lot. There you go. Well, I'm just going to do the 2 screws up. And as I said earlier, I'm going to put a little bit of tape around there because we don't trust that seal. Okay, so I'm going to stick the pump back on now, stick all that back together, do the 4 mils up, and then we'll be back in the house. Just to go back a step, the electrodes are in there, have to sit between the edge of there and the centre hole, and it's dead in the middle, okay? But them electrodes can't touch that either. Right, so you've just got to get them right, okay? And that's exactly how they should sit as it is now. You want to come up on there? Like so. Bingo. Okay, let's get back in the house. Okay, so oil line back on. It's still very flexible. It's only 2 years old by the date stamp anyway. we're going to put that back in there, and like before, we twist to the right, we push, we go back, we do the nut up, nip it up. Job's a good one. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and do the filter and the necessary on the tank, which is not part of this vlog, so I'm not going to show you that. And then we're going to come back and we're going to fire it up. We're going to do the pump pressure, etc. I'm not going to show you how to do that. I've shown you on so many vlogs now. You need to know how to do that already. And then obviously we're going to set it up to 11.5% CO2. And that's it. That's this week's YouTube vlog. Done from us at Button All Burner Services. And I hope you enjoyed it. So there we go. There was the overview of a Thermecon service, the old system Thermecon. Sorry we couldn't show the last bit and we suddenly sort of cut to the end. That's because the customer decided they had to go out suddenly. So we had to speed up a bit, hence we didn't have time to record the last bit. So sorry about that. Please feel free to subscribe because we love people that do that, as we all know. And obviously please feel free to comment because we love a comment too. It's supposed to be a lovely warm weekend, so obviously let's hope it is, and have a great one everyone. So until next time, as always, stay safe.